Now, in input validation, we can use completely what we call HTML validation, pattern validation, and we can use also JavaScript code validation, and following specific patterns. I'm going to start with some examples in which we have these files where JavaScript code is actually inside the file itself, because we know that we can have a JavaScript code inside the HTML, like this example here. I have the script inside here. I can put it in the head section, or I can create this file separately and link it to this code. So if I created JavaScript separately, assume that this is a file where I created it in somewhere else. So here I can type script and then type equal text JavaScript, and then href equal the file name dot whatever file name that you have .js, which is the JavaScript code. All right, and then you just close that script. So if the JavaScript is in a different file, you can just link it like that, and then this code that has been written in this file name is going to be implemented in your Java in your HTML. But here in this example, I have the code itself inside the file. So you have two options. As I said, you have two options. Let us assume that we have this option, which is JavaScript inside this. But let me just forget about the JavaScript code now. Let me just go here on the HTML part, in which I created a form, a small form. This form here, in which we have a form, I called it a name. This name is very important now, which is, I call it form 1, for example. And also, I created the text box. A text box, I called it a name, text1. These two names are very important. I will show you that we're gonna use them in my JavaScript code when I execute that function. When I click on the submit, this submit button that I'm going to click on is going to execute that function because the focus is going to be on that input box. So here in the submit button, which is submit button here, this is a button called submit. Its value is submit, and its name is submit. And on click event does what? Execute this function. What is the function? The function that I created here in the JavaScript is called phone number. I'm going to go over it in a minute. But now, look, when I click on this submit, it is going to be executing this phone number. What is the argument of that function, phone number? The function that I created here, phone number, the argument of it is document.form1.text1. What is form 1? Form 1 is my form here. What is text 1? Is my text. This is actually look like this. Let me show you. This is my file. I mean, this is my HTML form. So this is my form, and this is a text. This one is a text. What is the name of it? Is text 1. And the form itself, in which this input text in it, is called form 1. So this is what is inside. The argument is going to be whatever you write inside that the argument that I'm going to use for my function when I execute my function, because on click is going to execute the function, right? What is the function is going to do? The function is going to do what it's going to do. But the argument of this is whatever value that I have it here inside the text box. What is the text box? This is a text box. So if I enter numbers here and then click here, this is the value that I meant by this text1, which is in form1. So document.form1.text1 refers to the value that is going to be inserted, the input value that is going to be inserted in this text box. So look, this is a very small form. As you could see, it has nothing other than just a text, which is an instruction for the user to input a 10-digit phone number. Enter a 10-digit phone number. That means you need to enter a phone number that is 10 digits and click submit. This instruction very easy. 0532832188. Is it 10? Yeah, they are 10. Are they digits? Yes, they are digits. So and click submit to validate if this is correct. Is what I entered are digits? Yes or no? Yes. Is what I entered 10 or more? Here, for example, I'm gonna put one more here, like that, and then I click and click submit, and this message coming here says not a valid phone number. Okay, so let me put another phone number, 0532832199. Are they 10? Yes, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Are they digits? Yes, digits. Let me put A instead here, instead of that 0. Not a valid phone number. Why? Because they are 10, but they are not all digits. 0532932177. 32. Are they 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Are they 5? Are they 10? Yes, 10. Are they all digits? Yes, they are all digits. Click submit. You entered a valid phone number. Thanks. So now my input here is being validated. This input here is being validated by the function. Let me go to the function because the form is easy for you. The form is just this is a form. It has only 2 items, which is the input box. I told you the important thing for the input box is its name and also a submit button. The submit button, the most important part on it is on click. What does it do? On click, it executes this function, and the value of that function is going to be and the value of this form text input is going to be the input value. Okay, let me go back to my JavaScript part. My JavaScript part is going to take the input text, whatever you have entered, and use it here in this code. What is the code? I created a variable. I call it phone or phone number. Just call it any name, whatever name. This is the most important part in the whole thing because this is the pattern. The pattern usually, the HTML pattern is starting with this forward slash with this caret symbol, and then it ends with the dollar, and this is the end of it. Between them is the pattern that you have. So this is a start. You're going to see this a lot in this next few examples coming up. So starting with, ending with. This is the start of it. So we don't start with quotation. We don't start like with single quotation. We don't start with brackets or something like that. We start with forward slash caret, what is this symbol, whatever it is called, and this we end with a dollar sign, and then with forward slash. Same like you start this what is called the comment. Remember the comment in C++ or in JavaScript or Java, you start with this, end with this. So it's just similar to it. So the pattern was starting with this and ending with this. What is inside them? Well, But inside same is the pattern. So I need digits, not alphabetic. So I use D. But instead of the computer complaining about D, I'm going to tell them this is escape sequence. D is not the letter D. I'm going to tell my computer, hey, look, computer, this is not the letter D, like D for dog. No, this is digit. D stands for digit. How do I tell the computer this information? By putting a backslash before that character. If I put a forward slash before a character, so I'm going to tell the computer this is not the letter D like in the keyboard. No, this is a digit. This is a digit. So the computer will understand I mean digit here. All right. What is between these braces? Between the braces, how many of them? The total number of digits I wanted. So I need 10. So if it is a phone number 10 digit, then I put usually for digits, the people use for the button they use this braces. But for the characters, for the letters, they use bracket. And for example, if the characters between A and Z, they use like this, A to Z, like this. Or if it is between A to Z, capital and small, they can use A to Z, like that. Yani this will be, for example, A to Z capital, A to Z small. All letters from A to Z, either capital or small. If I would like to enter this, characters like that. But now I don't want that. I want digits. Digits should be between braces, and the number of the digits that you want it to be input are 10. So I hope this is clear for this explanation for that button. But I have a match method. Yani the input text dot value dot match is a built-in JavaScript method that will take the argument that you have here for the pattern, whatever you entered here in the pattern, because here now I saved this pattern into what? Into this variable. So I'm going to use this variable as a parameter for my method. I'm going to check to see if this is matching pattern. So if this is true, yani if they are 10, if they are digit, then this is true. Tell me that you entered the valid phone number. Thank you. Otherwise, tell me that you did not enter a valid phone number. So this is my function, which is usually using the pattern in the if-else statement to display one of the messages. Either it is an alert message, whether to return true if you enter the correct pattern, or it return false when you enter an incorrect pattern. And then all what you need to do is to use this name, which is my function name, on your submit when you use on click event. So on click event is going to execute the function, but the function is going to take the actual value we are going to enter. So it's going to compare, guys. It's just simply comparing what? Comparing this document .form1.text1, which is this value here, comparing it to what? Comparing it to the pattern that I have here in my form. So if this is returned true, it will give you enter the valid phone number. Otherwise, you are not entering a phone number. So that's, you can see that I have used invalid entry. And then if you enter, for example, 10 digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, then these are valid phone numbers. If you entered 9, not a valid number because they are less than 10. If you enter 11, this is not a valid phone number. So you have to enter exactly 10 to get a valid phone number. So this is checking only for all numeric, all numeric numbers. That all numeric numbers should have should be entered in order. And the file itself, the JavaScript file, is being part of the code itself. Here, this one, by the way, this file, which is a style sheet file, is just for my form, to fine tune my form, because here my form how do I get this one like in blue, you know, while the background of my form is blue? I can actually create a code for my style and put it here. I can even, you know, for example, you can have the margin left for this, because in this code, let me just open the code again for this one and show you that I have created some like classes here. For example, there is a class here called submit, okay, and I can actually use .submit here in my file to change something. And here in this div, in this division, because this division is the whole form inside the division, inside the div element. I created a class called mail. So if I would like to change that class, I can put .mail, for example, and h3, that h3, this I have h3 here inside this one. I can actually have it margin left 38 pixels, something like that. I can change some stuff here, or the color. What is RG? RG maybe I removed it earlier, but there was here, there was it's called class called RG, but now you know, I'm not using all of this, but I can actually also use I used this one here instead of using the file. You see, I remove the file here. I'm not using even this file for now. I'm not using this file. I'm using inline style or embedded style. I said input font size maybe 6 point, color blue, H3. I have H3, which is H3 here. This one H3. I have it font size 12, color blue. I can use color, for example, you know, dark red, and text align center, whatever that I would like to do. This will reflect here into my my form. So you can either use inline style like here, like I did here, or you can use external style as you will see in a minute. So this is just a style sheet, as I said, that you need to link it. But if you use it, you have to link it. So here, for example, I can have the link file, the link code to link it to this code here inside the head section, like that. I removed it earlier, but I'm going to show you an example where I have another file created externally and it is linked to the HTML document. This example can be seen here in the next example that I have for all alphabet. Okay, this one has now 3 files. You know, alphabets is my form. This is HTML form. This is the JavaScript code. I created it separately with you know, when I created it separately, look, I created it separately. I'm gonna use it's called Notepad++ to create it. Usually when you create a JavaScript separately, you have to save it. Click, I'm using, by the way, Notepad++. So if you click Save As, like that, you have to choose from the type of the file, choose JavaScript, which is here. Click here in the Save As type, and then select J, where is J? J, JavaScript here. JavaScript, which is going to be saved with .js here, this one, right? JavaScript. This is Java, this is JavaScript. So I saved it like that. Look at my function. It's called all letter. Again, look at the pattern. The pattern is using A to Z, which is all letters. Yani you cannot enter numbers. Again, I'm going to use input text.value.match. Input text.value.match is a built-in JavaScript method that takes the variable, whatever. Earlier, if you remember from previous example, my variable, I call it phone number or something. So here I call it letters. So it takes that one as an argument as a parameter for this function. This is it holds whatever letters that you're going to enter, but this is the pattern. The pattern is going to be saved in this variable. If this is true, and if they are all letters, whether from A to Z, capital or small, then you're going to tell me that your name is accepted. You can try another and then return true. Otherwise, you also display an error message telling me, please input alphabets only. Okay, this is my function. This is my JavaScript function. Let me go to my form and see how the form look like. The form is just look like the previous form, which is like this. It's just a form with a nice light blue background color and one input text with a light blue background. I have, by the way, all this here in this style type. I said background color for input. I have input, but for the input, the focus should be in the input box. The cursor will be blinking there. Text area, focus also, background color light yellow, and then we have, for example, submit button. The font size of this submit button is 10. Let me make it 12, make it 10. And then I have here the RG must have been a class. Yani RG is a class, male is a class, male is a class. And then here, for example, if you find any H2 inside the class male, which I might have here in the code. If you look in the code, you will find that I have, some classes like this male here. It is a class, and then I have H2 inside that class. So by saying that, if you find H2 inside this class, make the margin left 38 pixels. 38 pixels. Yani 38 pixels here, 38 pixels from the left. Or you can also change. There is also another class called RG. RG is a class. It's just a name. I don't know. They be called red color or something like that, or RC or whatever. But they call it RG in this example. And then it has this enter alphabet with a star before enter. This is basically for this one, enter alphabets only. So for this one, I have, for example, the font size is very small, 10 points, and the color is red. Here it is, and so on. So simply, this style file is to change some colors, background, appearance, the appearance of my form, because I have this form right here. I need to change it. But again, let me see the difference between this file and the previous file. In this file, my JavaScript code is separate, right? Is in a separate file. The file is called all-letter. All-letter. This is my file. So as I told you earlier, if you have that that file separately and you would like to link its code to this HTML document, you need to you can just use, instead of all this type and stuff like that, make it easy for yourself. And you can put just the script src. In fact, it is src, not href. So src equal between two quotations the file name, like that, as simple as that. You have the JavaScript /JavaScript like that, right? And then this is JavaScript, and inside JavaScript element like that, you put src source all-letter.js. Earlier, by mistake, I used href. Href is not for the JavaScript. Yani for the href is for this CSS file. So if you have a CSS file, you use link, rel, style sheet, href, and then the cascading style sheet file, the CSS file, like this one, right? So, but in JavaScript, you can just use src. The source file is all-letter.js, which is this file here, this file. Again, you know the purpose of every one of these three files, right? The purpose of the alphabets HTML file is to create the form where you need to enter your information, this form. And the job of, or the task of the form dash style CSS file is to change the appearance of this form. Whatever colors, background colors, text colors, background, body, whatever you'd like to do here. Here you can either do it in a style sheet, in a style file like this, or as in the first example I have shown you, you can do it in the head section as embedded style. So you have the choice. Same like for JavaScript. Yani JavaScript could be an embedded code in the head section of your code, or it could be a file that you link it like this. Yani all this example, guys, this example are three files, right? There are three files, but you can have them only one file, only just one file. This one, HTML. Why? Because in the HTML file, I can include the JavaScript code, I can include the style sheet code. But here, I'm just showing you a different example where it is actually recommended to have them separately. Do you know why recommended to have them separately? Can somebody tell me why I said it is recommended to have three files, one for the HTML form and one for CSS code and one for JavaScript code? Why did I say that it is recommended? It is strongly recommended. Yani it is not a must, but it is recommended to have them in separate files. Why is this the case? Can you give me some of your thoughts?
To reuse this code in different HTML page.
Yeah, that's the answer.
I
Reusability.
think.
Yeah, you thought right. Reusability. Reusability. Reusability is the key. You know, form style, I can use it in many other different, files, HTML files. I can just link it using that link line. And also JavaScript. If the JavaScript is I can reuse it in different things, in different places. Or I can just copy the file and change it slightly. If what is it's very small difference between this all letters and all numeric file that I have shown you earlier. So I can just copy and rename the file with this. So now this one is let me go to the code again, this code one more time. Is checking what? Is checking your letters to match them, to see if they are matching with all characters. Okay. Now let me go here and then refresh because I have made some changes. Okay. Here they said enter your name and submit. I enter my name and submit. Your name have been accepted. Have been accepted should be. So your name has been accepted. So now this is my name I have to refresh. Your name has been accepted. You can try another. But by mistake, somebody would like to enter Ali, and he entered Ali like that. Okay. It says what? Please input alphabet characters only. And from far there, it looks like Ali. But you know what I did? I entered 1 instead of I at the end. So it's going to actually compare between characters, all if it alphabet, it's going to check for that alphabet. Or you can enter, for example, letter between Z and between A and Z, whatever. So that character, validation is going to be checked by that JavaScript code, and is going to display a message. You can either display a message or you can do something else. I made it simple for you guys here just because I don't want to complicate it and do something more than getting a message. So I'm going to actually get the message, and then that is quite enough for me to understand when I compare the pattern with this, with this specified pattern written inside that code. I have another example for validation. Let me see what is this here. This validation is in this form. I have some different type of validation. In this form, if the number is greater than 100, the input maximum number, an error message will be displayed. So there is some built-in error message that some JavaScript method will display for you in case the number is greater than 100. Yani all numbers should be what? Should be 100 or less, right? So once you click here and then start with these two arrows, like 1, and you click OK, it's going to tell you that input is OK. Okay. And then any number that is less than 100 is OK. But if you go all the way with this arrow, when it reaches 100, it will stop. By default, it will stop, but you can actually increase it if you want manually. So let me check here. 100 is OK. But what I put 101, when I click here, it says value too large. Right. Let me go for the code. The code simply it uses max attribute for the input value. Yani the input value, guys, the input element, it has beside its type a number. Yani you cannot enter a character. It has to be a number. When you put input, this is the ID for it. So I can use this ID later in my built-in function, which is called document.getElement by ID. And here we have been exposed to document.getElement ID before, and the ID is the ID that you create in your element here. So the ID is called ID1. I'm going to use it here later in this if statement. But I'm going to tell you about these two. These two means it's a number. It's not a letter. It's a number. So the type is a number. We have seen these guys in week 3 or week 3 when we learned about the new input type, the number, the telephone number, the week, the time, the months, the letters, the email, the whatever. All this we have studied in the new input types. So this is a type is a number, and the maximum 100. That's why here, when you try to enter a character, it will not, if you can hear my keyboard, it cannot allow you to enter a character in the first place. Because here you said the type is a number. But it will allow you to enter a number, and that number, the maximum is 100 by default, according to this code. And by default is 100. So I have 77, and then go all the way. It will not allow you. You can go down to any number, but maximum is 100. I will show you another example where you can have also minimum. But now, what I want to tell you is that you can manually put a number. If you put 111, which is 111, it's a number. It is not maximum. I mean, it is not conforming to my standard, because the number, it is actually greater than 100. If it is greater than 100, then the error message will be displayed like this, too large. So if you put a number that is 100 or less, then it's going to be input is okay. Let me go for the code. Right. So this is my my function. My function is called my function in JavaScript. My function. It declares one variable. It is called text to give me the error message. By the way, the error message or the correct message. Yani this txt is going to display either input is okay, which is this one, or it's going to display value too large. Yani one of these will be displayed, whether value too large or input is okay. But now it is declared as an empty variable. I'm going to use an if statement here. The if statement is going to use the document.getElement by ID. Which ID? The ID in the input element that has the number that you're going to enter. I'm going to use that ID. But this one should be this function validity dot range overflow. Yeah, range overflow means if it actually exceeds the maximum number. Validity dot range overflow is a built-in JavaScript method that conform to the maximum level that you specified. Overflow means the maximum value that you're going to enter. If this is going to be evaluated to true, yani if the value that has been entered in that ID1 ID, which is the number, if this is true, yani if this is more than 100, then you will display this statement. Otherwise, it will be display this statement. In the end, whether this statement or this statement, I'm going to use document.getElement by ID inner HTML equal text, whatever text that is displayed. Either this one or this one, depending on the trueness of the if statement. The if statement again uses document.getElement by ID, that you have the ID here in the input element. I call it ID1. I can call it anything, but here I call it ID1. Okay. Dot validity dot range dot overflow. Range overflow. Range of validity dot range overflow is a built-in JavaScript code or method that displays the message in case the if statement return true. If it returns false, it displays another message. These messages are your own messages that you're gonna write. Whether you're gonna say value is too large or value is, for example, value is more than 100, it should be 100 or less. Whatever message that you're going to write. And here, that message will be displayed for you here. The value is more than 100, it should be 100 or less. Or you enter a value that is less than 100, and then it will display, as I said earlier, this message. So what happens is that you have a button here. I have a button called OK. This button here, I call it OK. I created the button here. This button, okay. And the button usually is like this, you know. Here it is. This is the button, right? Look. The button, no problem with that. But what does it have? It executes when I click OK. On click, يعني on clicking OK, it executes my function. The function called my function, this function. And this function, it does what I explained earlier, which is displaying a message when you enter a value. Another example that I can show you here is another check validity for this one. Let me see what is on this one. On this one, I have minimum and maximum value. Yani it's the same example, guys. It's just I use when I click here, the minimum value is 100. It says if the number is less than 100 or greater than 300, an error message will be displayed. Yani on this example, the numbers are controlled between 100 and 300. So these two arrows will go down to 100 or up to 300. Anyone like that, it says input is okay. Any number that is more than 300, it says you must be less than or equal to 300. And then also any number that is less than 100 will give you another message, which is this message. These messages usually are also displayed by the help of a built-in function. I will show you this function in a minute. This function is also the validity function is called validation message, which is actually going to display. I'm going to actually talk about this two functions. One of them is called check validity here, and one of them is called validation message. All right, later here I have a comment where I can talk about them, but now let me just explain the content of my file. This file, it has this input. Also it is a type. Its type is number, same like before. Its ID also is called ID1, same like before, and its maximum number is 300, but I have a minimum. This minimum number is, I can actually have an attribute for that input element. Input minimum 100, maximum 300. That's why by default, when you start this program, by default, when you just click here, the first value is going to be 100, and then if you go up, 300. If you go down, it will just stop here at 100. So this is controlled by these two attributes, minimum and maximum. Required means you have to enter them. So if you don't enter them, please fill out this this field. That required, it brings a message that is, this field is required, or you cannot skip it. You have seen it and you have done it many times. So you can actually have it required, or you can just leave it, no problem. But here I have it required. Okay, what is my function? Again, the same thing. I have a button called OK that when I click on it, click on this OK, it executes my function. My function is very similar to the previous function, in which it assigns a variable. This variable now in this program is called n, which holds the ID1 value. Get element by ID, the ID of what? The ID of the input box. Which input box? This input box. Get it as an argument. If this is not true, this is not, by the way, not n.check validity. Not n.check validity, if this number is not conforming to the validity, is not actually a number that is between 100 and 300. Then display this validation message. What is the validation message displayed? Validation message displayed with the help of document.getElement by ID, and then dot inner HTML equal this, which is end.validation message. Let me explain the difference between these two functions, check validity and validation message function. The check validity method checks whether the element has any constraints and whether it satisfies them. So if the element fails its constraint, the browser, it fires the cancelable invalid event at the element, which in this case the error message, and they retain false. So simply, this is a built-in JavaScript method that check whether this element that I input has any constraint and whether it satisfies these constraints or not. This constraint, what are the constraints that I have? I have two constraints, which is minimum 100 and maximum 300. So it checks for that to see if it conforms to these constraints or not. If it does not, what does it do? It returns false. So it displays the message and displays false. This message here in this example that I have shown you, what is my example here, which is n.validation message. What is n? N is the value that I entered. Dot validation message. So it's going to actually display that message. The message that is displayed is only read-only property of this HTML object element, which is the document.getElement by ID interface that retains this string representing this message. This message, guys, it describes the validation constraint, which is a built-in message, as you have seen earlier. If you can notice that even this please fill out this field, I did not write it here in my code. It is a built-in message that comes up. Again, the message that I'm going to get whenever I am not conforming to the constraints of 100 and 300, it is a validation message. Like, for example, here I have this one like that. Input is okay, but when I have like 400, it says value must be less than or equal to 300. Why? It says why didn't bring 100 here? And here, look at this one. Value must be less than or equal to 100. Why did you mention 300 here? So because this is a built-in message that is actually conformed to the validation message based on the minimum and maximum numbers that were set in the input value in the first place. So this validation message and check validity are built-in methods, JavaScript methods, that the first one will check whether the element is satisfying the element or failing the constraint. And the validation message is actually a message that conforming to the constraints, and then it will check to see if these constraints are validated or not. If they are validated, then it will display. If it is not validated, usually it is actually a message when the check validity returned true. When the check validity returned true, this validation message will come only when this check validity becomes true, because here I use what? I use not. If I didn't use not, then it will conform to the check validity when it is returned false. But here I use not dot check validity, which is if the validation fails. If the validation fails, displays a message. What message? One of these messages, whether you must be greater than or equal to 100, or the other message, which is must be less than or equal to 300. These two examples, I will also post them for you to try them at your own pace again, and try different methods as well. Here I have another example. In this case, the international phone numbers, which is bigger example than previous one. Yeah, remember that that phone number I have given, which is all numeric, all 10. That was easy one. This one is a little bit advanced level of code because it will ask you to enter an international phone number. This international number could be plus 2 digits like this, plus 11, and then dash, for example, 9 6 7 8, for example, like that, and then dash 1 2 3 4. Okay, this is one like this. Let me just make it bigger to see it. Plus, input a phone number. Either the number starts with plus, then 2 digits like this. Then there is a dash separating the 2 digits from these 4 digits. Then there is a dash separating the last 4. So this is one. Let me put it here as one example. Let me just create a notepad file and then save this number here because I need to test it later. Let me just put this number temporarily here. All right, this is one entry. Or this one, which is simply plus and then plus and then 2 numbers separated with a dot and then 4 numbers 1 2 3 4 separated with a dot and then 9 8 7 6 like that. Yani also you can enter a number follows this. Or like this, in which we have plus, then 2 numbers like 1 1, and then space 1 2 3 4 space 9 8 7 6. Yani it is not a dash, it is not a dot, it is a space. Yani this phone number, international phone numbers, can be either this format or this format or this format, right? So anything that is not conforming to this format is not going to be accepted. And for example, I have 10 numbers, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. It is not following one of this format, right? Because it doesn't have a plus in the beginning, it doesn't have a dash after the first 2, it doesn't have a dash here, and it doesn't have a dot or it doesn't have a space. So if I click here, it says this should be invalid phone number. Should be not valid phone number. I have to refresh it. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. I think I changed this slightly earlier in my code. Let me check it. Oh, if they are 10 digits, also by the way, if they are 10 digits, it accepts it. But listen, look at it, like 1 2 dash 1 2 3 4 dash 1 2 3 4. These are 10 digits, but it doesn't have a plus. So plus here also is going to be used as one optional, because in this code I'm going to show you the JavaScript code. Anyway, it says input a number either this like this one or like this one or like this one and click submit. Right here I have a text box which is size 30. I mean this text box, size of it 30, and here when I click submit, it execute the phone number JavaScript function with the value that has been passed to this text box. What is function phone number does? The function phone number does, it is found in this file that I have linked to this code here, this file. So this file, it uses this pattern. Let me just explain this pattern, guys, using a picture, because or using PowerPoint presentation that I have created earlier. This one is using a variable to store this pattern. As I told you, this is the start of the pattern, this is the end of the pattern. Now, if you look at this very long file, guys, is actually only divided into three parts and separators. Look at them here. I tried to make it here in this file and this PowerPoint file. It is a bit slow, but coming up. Yeah, this is I try to explain here in terms of this. So I have three types of buttons. These three types of button is plus. Take the first one. Plus 2 numbers, then dash, then 4 numbers, then dash, then 4 numbers. All right, like this one. Where is my form? Plus 2 numbers, dash 4 numbers, and then 4 numbers. Right? Okay. Or plus 2 numbers, dot 4 numbers, dot 4 numbers. Also, like this one here. Plus 2 numbers, dot 4 numbers, dot 4 numbers. Or the last one, plus 2 numbers, space 4 numbers, space 4 numbers, which is similar to the last one here. Plus 2 numbers, space 4 numbers, plus 4 numbers. Okay. How do I understand this pattern? This pattern is a little bit longer, but if you focus, you can understand it. And this is the beginning of this pattern, and this is the end of the pattern, as we explained earlier. For the plus sign, if you put plus, start with plus, and then start with, you have to use this question mark, plus question mark. You start with the plus. Start with plus. I need how many numbers? I need 2 numbers. These 2 numbers should be between braces. But these numbers, the range of the numbers should be between 0 and 9. Yani 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And any number that ranges between 0 and 9 can be used. How many of them? 2, only 2. Right? And then either start with either a dash or a dot or a space. By the way, this is a space between bracket. Yeah, between bracket here, you have the range. So I can use a dash or a dot or a space. So here I can use a dash or a dot or a space. Then 4 numbers. Yeah, 4 numbers between braces. Also, these 4 numbers the range between them are between brackets 0 to 9. Yani any number between 0 to 9 could be used. But the maximum here in this middle one is 4. Not the maximum. Actually 4. It's not 1, it's not 2, it's not 3, it's not 5. It's 4. And this 4 should be between braces. And then concatenate or add to them again another dash or a dot or a space. And then the last one also are 4 numbers between braces. You put them. These are 4 numbers here. Okay, 4 numbers. And also there should be any number that is false between 0 and 9. So simply, I tried here to explain why you have this very long, pattern that you see here in your code like that, and you have this question mark here to like adding this to this, adding this to this, so that the all numbers are here like that, like plus 1 1, like plus 1 1, and then dash 1 1 1 1 dash 1 1 1 1. Well, this is similar to the first entry. Or plus dot plus 1 1 dot 1 1 1 dot 1 1 1 1. Also, this is a valid for number. Or plus 1 1 space 1 2 1 1 1 1, which are 4 numbers, and then space, and then this is valid for number. So if you put, for example, 5 here, not a valid for number. If you put 5 here, for example, this is not a valid for number. If you put 1 here, this is not a valid for number. If you put 3 here, this is not a valid for number. So, and then you can use either this one or this one or this one. Review at your own pace these patterns, guys, because we're gonna use similar to this pattern. It's not gonna be as complicated as this one, but it's gonna be one of the patterns that you're going to use in one of your questions in the final exam. But it is not very long. It's not gonna be very long like this. I'm just trying to explain it to you to show you what this pattern means. I have this example here. I hope it opened this file here. Let me explain this pattern, because this pattern, I'm going to use this pattern later. Just 1 second. Let me try to edit the file by cropping it, and then I'm going to explain if you understand this pattern, then I can actually use an example for a credit card number, because a credit card number usually they start with specific numbers, and then it tells you how many total numbers should be entered for that credit card number. So in this example, I would show you. I would like to show you 3 examples of these numbers. So let me just try to crop this file here, and then open it like that. And save it. I would like you to look at the. I try to put this pattern in a way that you can understand the different, partitions of this pattern, so that you can understand how you can do it. Look at the pattern. If you see a pattern like that, as I said before, this is this slash forward slash with this caret symbol. This is a symbol to start the pattern, and dollar slash, this is the symbol to end the pattern, right? We agreed on that. We explained it before, right? Okay. Now everything else falls between the opening and closing parentheses. I'm gonna do this for a credit card number, guys. For a credit card number that start with start with 34. And here, if you have question mark colon 34, that means this is the pattern starting with these digits, these 2 digits. And immediately after these 2 digits, there is brackets. Inside the brackets is a range, which is 0 to 9. This 0 to 9 range simply is the range of digits that can be included, as explained earlier when I talking about 4 numbers, okay? When I was talking about 4 numbers, I said any number between 0 to 9 you can use. Any number between 0 to 9. When you see a 13 between braces, this is usually for digits between braces. I told you for braces we use the digits, for characters we use brackets. So here, this means the total number of digits, including the starters. What does that mean? So how many digits in total I have for this credit card? Anybody understand? $15 or 13? How many total numbers of this credit card I'm going to use the pattern for? 13 or 15?
13.
I'm sorry, say again.
13.
13. Yeah. That's easy, right, to answer, because here I said the total number of digits including the starters. What is the starters? These 2 digits, right? Yeah, and start with 34. Then after 34, how many numbers you need? 11. 11 numbers. This number should be between 0 and 9. All right. Let me show you one for American Express card. An American Express card, it says American Express credit card number. It asked me to enter credit card number starting with 34. Here it says length 15. Sorry guys, maybe I was wrong. Just let me try it again. 34. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Sorry guys, I have to come back and correct myself on this picture here. Starting with 34. And the number should be 13 digits between 0 and 9. So this is the total number of digits between this total number of digits. So that means it has to be 15. I'm sorry, who answered that question? Ziad? I would like to correct.
No, it's not me.
I would like to correct myself on that. I said earlier it's actually a total number of 13. So the total number of digits is actually total number of digits excluding what? Excluding the stars, I would say. So let me try again my file. Here, how many? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And I think 13, it says not a valid American Express card number. But let me add 2 more. 1, 2. This is a valid American Express number. Okay, then, well, again, I have to correct myself on what I have said earlier. 13 excluding the starters, not including. So I will say here, let me just change it again. This is excluding the numbers you started with. Excluding the numbers you started with. So here, if you started with 34, then 34 are going to be the 2 numbers in the beginning, and then after that you have 13. So again, start with this. We start with this symbol, end with this symbol, and then if you have a number to start with, like in this example, they said you have to start with 34. What if they are 15 but not starting with 34? Like for example, starting with 53, and then I have 15. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's not going to be valid. Why? Because they are 15, but they are not starting with 34. All right. And earlier I have 34, but they are not exactly 15. All right. More or less 34, but I have less than that. Also, this is not a valid. But now I have 34, starting with 34, then the total number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So this is a valid credit card number. And this video is becoming very large.